Bamba, Muhammadu Bamba, Monina Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's main event. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Dan Comerford. I'm the senior pastor here, and on behalf of our staff and leadership, I'd like to welcome you here tonight. We here at First Pres, we're so blessed to have David LaMotte help lead worship for us this morning, and he also preached the message. And then we're doubly blessed to have him share his music with us tonight. And so I know so many of us have grown up listening to David's music, and it's helped shape and form us. And it's a blessing that you're able to be here today. I have two announcements. If you love his music, be sure to stop by the merch table on the way out. And second, one of the things that's great about music is it allows us to get into a different space, sometimes to get out of our own space. And one of the ways we do that is silencing our cell phones. And so I would encourage all of us to silence our cell phones. And I'm going to stand on an additional challenge. Let's turn those cell phones off for an hour, disconnect, and focus on the night. But I would love to welcome David to come up and share his life and his music with us.
Thanks, y'all. I turned mine off, too. Well, it's nice to see y'all. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening this way. Of the many ways you could have spent it, you've already done a really radical thing, Millions and millions of dollars were spent to keep you right in front of your TV tonight, where people could safely advertise to you. And instead, you chose to be in a room with other human beings, sharing a little music. So welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's see, get everything plugged up. Ask me where I'm from. If they're not Presbyterians, I say I live in Black Mountain, which is right outside of Asheville. If they're Presbyterians, I say I live in Black Mountain, which is right outside of Montreat. I want to sing you a song about this moment right here. Man, I love the summer with its wet green life just buzzing everywhere. But there's nothing like the first scent of the turning when you catch it in the air. There's something like a promise in a cobalt blue electric autumn sky. Like there's wisdom in the rhythm, like it's okay that the time keeps flowing by. September me, like an old friend at the door. Blue sky me with the beauty of the light I've seen 1,000 times before. Undo me the tiniest of flickers at the corner of your smile. Let's take a little time to take a little time and rest ourselves a while. You used to dial a number and anyone might answer where you call. And now you call somebody and their body might be anywhere at all. Yeah, everything keeps changing with the seasons. The waves become the tide. I'm just trying to keep my head above the water. I don't want to miss the ride. September me, like an old friend at the door. Blue sky me with the beauty of the light I've seen 1,000 times before. Undo me with the tiniest of flickers at the corner of your smile. Let's take a little time to take a little time and rest ourselves a while. She said something, but I didn't really hear her. I was looking at my phone. So she said again, sometimes when we're together, I feel like I'm alone. I said, love, I'll be right with you. I just gotta do one thing. Took my face in both her gentle hands and whispered, you've been saying that since spring. September me, like an old friend at the door. Blue sky me till the shell falls from my soul and I feel like myself once more. Undo me with the tiniest of flickers at the corner of your smile. Let's take a little time to take a little time and rest ourselves a while. Let's take a little time to take a little time and rest ourselves a while. Let's take a little time. Thanks, y'all. Hey. I wrote that song as a little experiment. I thought it would be fun to consider what the word September might mean if it were a verb. And that's the song that fell out. I want to, some of y'all were here this morning. I played this song in church. I'm going to play it again because I like playing it. I hope that's a good enough reason. My family did move during the pandemic. A couple of years ago, we moved 1 mile, actually, in my little town. Because I lived for many, many years, even before I knew my wife. I lived in a little house, a little cottage, 875 square feet, 1 bathroom, and 1,500 square feet of deck. By the time I was done with it, it had a 3-to-2 ratio of outdoor to indoor space, which you can kind of do in the mountains, and it worked out really well. And I love that little house, but my father-in-law needed to move in with us in declining health, and my son was turning into a teenager, and more than 1 bathroom just seemed like a good idea. And so we found this house that we were able to buy because it was just ugly as sin, and really practical house, and really it just needed a coat of paint, so it worked out all right. So it was early in the pandemic, and we didn't have vaccines yet, and we had to move, so we did what you always do, you know, we called up all our friends and bought some pizza and said, come on. No. We didn't do that. I made 873 trips in my Honda Element back and forth, carrying 4 boxes at a time, you know. And we gradually moved into this new house. I don't know if y'all have ever moved in the winter. It's a really interesting thing to go from one house to another house in the middle of the winter in a part of the world where the seasons change, because you have no idea what your own house looks like. Right? In the winter, when the spring comes, all this stuff starts coming up out of the ground. You're like, wow, I had no idea that this was where I live. And it's your home by then, but you don't recognize it. And that's what happened. And I was starting to get the first inkling that the pandemic might be on the wane. And somehow those two things kind of mirrored each other for me, and this song came to be. When we moved here in the winter, everything was dry and brown. Never saw the place in summer, no idea what's in the ground. Bearing dogwood in the front yard, I wasn't sure if it was gone. Then about the 1st of April, I saw what was going on. Coming alive again. Coming alive. Coming alive again. Coming alive. If I really love somebody, I used to say that we were close. It's kind of strange to show compassion through this distance that we chose. But we hid out in our houses till the medicine arrived. Now the buds have turned to blossom. We're stepping to the other side. Coming alive again. Coming alive. Coming alive. It's been a long and lonely winter. It's been a long and lonely year. It's gonna take a while to understand, but some things are coming clear. In the distant days of childhood, there was a story that I heard about how dying's part of living, but it's not the final word. So the leaves that fell in autumn turn to flowers in the spring, and the sorrow of our losses turns to songs that we can sing. Coming alive again. Thank you. I'm going to put this guitar in a really weird tuning. So those first two songs are from my new record, which came out in June, and it was number 4 on the folk charts last month. That means that's very validating and exciting for me, but basically that means that 3 of the 4 people who listen to folk music thought it was pretty good. That's very nice. I have learned over the years that people hear music really differently, and some people really tune right into the lyrics, and other people have to hear a song a few times before the words settle in. So there's some songs where I work really hard on the lyrics that I've started doing as poems, just so that people can make sure that people can hear it. And this is, I'm going to sing you a song in just a moment, but I'm going to recite it as a poem and then sing it, because I want you to be able to hear it, because I worked harder on this lyric probably than any other lyric I've ever had. It was like a puzzle. It was like a crossword. I set this task for myself. I have no idea why, but I set this task for myself to write a song that rhymed in traditional ways, where like the 2nd and 4th lines rhyme and stuff, and then also had a lot of internal rhymes inside of the individual lines, and then also Every couplet, every 2 lines, the last word or syllable of that couplet is the first word or syllable of the next couplet in all the verses. And then you get to the choruses, and the last word of the verse is the first word of the chorus. Last word of the chorus is the first word of the next verse. And that goes all the way through the song until you get to the end of the song, and then the last word of the song is the first word of the song. I don't know why I did that. But once I got into it, it was kind of fun. And that became the title track for the album. It's called Still. I'm going to play you a couple more songs from the new album, and then I'm going to play some old stuff, in case you happen to know some of those songs. I'm going to get this all in tune. When I wrote this song, I wrote it in tune. And I want to try to recreate that for you right here tonight. I haven't played it for a minute. Let me just see if it's Yeah, that sounds right. Still a chill in the air, but winter is waning and springtime is winning. I swear that it will. Will you go with me to greet the new morning? The new buds are forming, the sky is turning blue, blue past so much of my life, looking down, like a sad painted clown, but I'll wipe that face off. Often I've dreamed of this kind of adventure, and this is the clincher. You're coming with me. Meet me at dawn by the trailhead. We'll never have this day again. And you keep on talking about changes. This just might be where they begin. Intoxicating. I've been hibernating, but now I am waking, a silly old bear. Bare branches whisper while others play rhythm. The jazz trees will give 'em side stick on a snare. Snared by a bramble, the seeds take the gamble to see where we ramble and drop them anew, a new sense of possible. The thing about seeds is they trust in the breezes and go with them there. There's no time to wait on tomorrow. Till our lists are all tidy and done. We might wait until 18 forevers and then find that we missed all the fun. Fungus and lichen, I must say I'm liking this green that we're hiking through everywhere, wearing these grins as the new day begins. We're shedding our skins, coming over the hill, hilarious laughter. My worn spirit rises, the light in your eyes is a beauty to see. Scenery shifting. We're not going to miss it. We'll soak in this bliss. It's not time to be still. Still, a chill in the air. But winter is waning, and springtime is winning. I swear that it will. Still a chill in the air, but winter is waning, springtime is winning. I swear that it will. Will you go with me to greet the new morning? The new buds are forming, the sky is turning blue. Flew by so much of my life, looking down like a sad painted clown. But I'll wipe that face off. Often I've dreamed of this kind of adventure, and this is the clincher. Coming with me at dawn by the trailhead. We'll never have this day again. Hey, you keep talking about changes. This just might be where they begin. intoxicating. I've been hibernating, now I am waking. A silly old bear. Bare branches whisper while others play rhythm. Jazz trees will give 'em side stick on a snare. Snared by a bramble, the seeds take the gamble to see where we ramble and drop them anew. Like no sense of possible thing about seeds is they trust in the breezes and go with them there. There's no time to wait on tomorrow till our lists are all tidy and done. We might wait until 18 forever and then find that we missed all the fun. I must say I'm liking the green that we're hiking through everywhere. Wearing these grins as the new day begins. We're shedding our skins coming over the hill. Hilarious laughter, my worn spirit rises. The light in your eyes is a beauty to see. Scenery shifting, we're not gonna miss it. We'll soak in this bliss, it's not time to be still. Still a chill in the air, but winter is waning, springtime is winning, I swear that it will. Thanks, y'all. So I noticed there are people that come in the smaller sizes here tonight. I thought maybe I would play a kid song. Yeah, no, good. Yeah, okay. Working for you, man, whatever. Yeah, so I'll play a kid song. Here's the thing, adults, this song is not for you. You can listen if you want to, but it's really for the kids. So, it's a silly song. I hope that's okay. It's a song that rhymes a lot. It's kind of the opposite of that last song. That had the most complicated rhyme scheme I've ever created. This next one has the simplest rhyme scheme I've ever created. It's basically that everything in the whole song rhymes with E. Just a little songwriting tip, never do that. So what happens is, in order to complete the song, you have to dip really low in the bag of rhymes, which is what I did. And also, that last song, I can never forget the words to that song because I've got a little prompt at the end of every line as to what the next line is, right? So it's so easy to remember the words to that song, as opposed to this song where everything rhymes with E, so it could be anything, right? Anything that rhymes with E. There's a lot of stuff. Let's see. Here it comes. People to help me out, so if I get stuck, you feel free to guess. I am the captain of the SS bathtub. I roam wherever I please. Yes, I am the captain of the SS bathtub. Come sail away with me. Now I travel far in the SS bathtub. I sail the 7 seas, that's right, yeah. Sometimes I stop at islands that look just like great big knees. Exactly, that's right, because if you're in the bathtub and your knees are sticking up, they look like islands, right? Makes perfectly good sense. Seems really obvious to me. My friends come visit on the SS bathtub. They arrive on water skis, that's right. Some are dolphins, and some are whales, and some are manatees. That's right. I am the captain of the SS Bathtub. I roam wherever I please. Yes, I am the captain of the SS Bathtub. Come sail away with me. Now the fish that swim under the SS Bathtub know all their AB. I knew I could count on you all for that one. I knew you would come through. Thank you, Gastonia schools. And I want to sincerely congratulate you on saying the right answer. And there was almost universal participation. It was great. One little thing to dial in: the delivery. I'm not sure how to say this other than that it was just a little bit Presbyterian. All right, so just dig down deep to some other faith tradition in your past where people shout, and we'll just try again. Okay, here it goes. Now the fish that swim under the SS Bathtub know all their AB. That's what I'm talking about, because they study hard in their school of fish, then they go and catch some Z's. Now I got 2 dogs on the SS Bathtub, a Great Dane and a Pekingese. I named one port and I named one starboard, and I'll let you name their fleas. Because I'm the captain of the SS Bathtub, I roam wherever I please. Yes, I'm the captain of the SS Bathtub, come sail away with me. Pick it, Dave. All right. Now for dinner on the SS Bathtub, we all eat mac and... That's right, but I don't use salt and I don't use pepper, 'cause I don't want the whales to sneeze. And we love to play on the SS Bathtub with our blocks and our frisbees. That's right, and you play frisbee very carefully on a boat. We make up songs, we put on plays, we never watch TV. That's because I am the captain of the SS Bathtub. I roam wherever I please. Yes, I am the captain of the SS Bathtub. Come sail away with me. Come sail away with me. That was also the text of my first book. We made that one into a children's book just for fun. You didn't know it was going to be a literary gathering, but I just did a book reading. Hey, y'all may have noticed that there were postcards on your seats when you came in. If you're really attentive, you may have noticed that the postcards are perforated. Pretty cool. You can bend them and tear off that bottom piece. And how that works is that you can fill in that stuff, and later on we're going to pass a plate for a local charity here in town. That money's not going to me. That's going to take care of your own community. Thank you for doing that. But when we pass that plate around, you can also put those little mailing list cards in there if you want to. And then, toward the end of the night, before the last song, I'm going to draw one out and give something away free from the table over here. And you can pretty much pick almost anything you want off the table, if you like, if you win. So that's what's going on with those. So 18 years into my music career, I took 2 years off and I moved to Australia. And I went to Brisbane, Australia to the University of Queensland on a fellowship from Rotary International, and I got a master's degree in peace studies, international studies with a focus on peace and conflict resolution. What that means is that in my marriage, we have no conflict whatsoever. That was the right reaction, but boy, you were on it. You took no time to laugh at me. Yes. No, human relationships have conflict, and it's not always a bad thing. Conflict is often necessary on the way to a better way. Peacemaking isn't about reducing conflict. It's actually about approaching conflict in ways that are constructive rather than destructive. So when you're in a pandemic and there's just 2 of you there, or 3, maybe with a kid, this is kind of a cautionary tale. This is how not to do relationship when you are each other's only adult company. Here's what happened. I went camping right before the pandemic with some friends, and one night they were making dinner at the campfire there. They were wrapping things in aluminum foil and cooking them around the fire, as you may have done before. They had both done it before, and they had very different opinions as to how it was properly done. And this couple that we love and who love each other started to get into a rather heated argument about the proper way to prepare this meal. And I was just sitting there in a chair, hanging out, watching this unfold, and suddenly a song started to run in my head. And it was a song about dumb things that couples argue about. But as I've already explained, of course, I had no material because there's no conflict in my marriage. So I did what anybody would do in the same situation. I went onto Facebook and I made a Facebook post and I said, "Hey y'all, I'm writing a song about dumb things that couples argue about. What do you got?" I exaggerate sometimes in my storytelling, but I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that there were over 400 comments on that Facebook post. And I saved them. I highlighted them all, and I saved them, and then I started highlighting the ones I liked best, and they became this song. And I wanted to explain all that to you because I don't want you to worry about me and Deanna. We're doing fine. We're good. We're all right. And this song isn't actually about us. It's about all of you, apparently. It was a cooperative effort. The song's called "The Way It's Done." You see where this is going already, don't you? That's not the first word at all. Sorry. Seems like we're driving each other crazy. She can't relax and she says I'm lazy. Every little thing I do or say, well, she seemed to think she got a better way. All frustrated and up all night, 'cause there's 2 ways to do it, but one that's right. Hands on her hips with the usual scowl, looking at the way I folded that towel. And sometimes I think I might end up dead, 'cause I didn't put the twisty thing back on the bread. Yeah, sure, I'll take the trash out in just a minute, but if you push it down a little, you could get more in it. And the way it's done is the way I do it, and the way I do it is the way it's done. You can do it your way all day long, if you don't mind doing it wrong. Help the situation to get away together for a little vacation. So we cleared the time, but we didn't get far, 'cause first we had to pack the car. Now we survived that part without going insane, and then she drove away slow in the fast lane. And the way it's done is the way I do it, and the way I do it is the way it's done. You can do it your way all day long, if mind doing it wrong. Now there's which way the forks go, up or down, and which way the toilet paper spins around, and when you put your headlights dim or bright, when you slow down for the traffic light, how dark to go when you toast the bread, and how many pillows do you need on one bed, whose turn it is to let out the cat, are you really gonna put ketchup on that? Which way to vote in the next election, and when we're gonna stop and ask for directions. And I don't want to start a whole bunch of drama, but don't get me going on the Oxford comma, 'cause the way it's done is the way I do it. The way I do it is the way it's done. You can do it your way all day long, if you don't mind doing it wrong. Tender verse. Well, I love you, baby, and I hate to fight, and I don't mean to sound like I'm always right. There's plenty of things we can learn from each other, and there's lots of stuff still left to discover. So go on and show me how your way is better, and I'll just come back and fix it later. 'Cause the way it's done is the way I do it. The way I do it is the way it's done. You can do it your way all day long, if you don't mind doing it the way it's done. Alright, we gotta get a little audience participation before we're out of here. So here's what happens. I say the way it's done, you say is the way I do it. And I say the way I do it, and you say is the way it's done, right? Now the way it's done, and the way I do it, you can do it your way all day long, if you don't mind doing it wrong. Oh, silliness. Silliness, silliness, silliness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Time goes by quickly. So, I'm going to play this other guitar. You're probably wondering why I brought 3 guitars. There's just one of me. You can only fit so many songs in a guitar, so if you want to play more than that, you have to bring more guitars. Also, they're in different tunings, and I'm just saving y'all a little bit of trouble and time listening to me tune my guitar, but I am going to tune this one for a second. I'll tell you a little bit of a story while I do it. That little house I was telling you about, the 875 square foot house with all the deck on it, just about a mile from where I live now. And by the way, y'all, please don't worry about kid noises, because I love background vocals. It is just fine. And I love people being together intergenerationally. It makes me super happy. So as far as y'all do what you need to do, but as far as I'm concerned, no worries at all. Sure. Well, I love background vocals. I really do. It's good. And I'm a dad. So, yeah, so anyway, I was, what was I talking about? I was talking about the little house. Right. That house was on a really busy corner in a neighborhood that's just a mile away from ours, but it feels kind of different in some ways. And for many, many years, there was no stop sign on my corner, and the house is kind of, the road takes a sharp turn there, and the house sits inside that corner. And so people come squealing around that corner, and mufflers are not popular in my neighborhood. You know, people come flying around that corner. And there was this couple that used to walk on the road, and he was blind, and she would guide him down that road, and there was no sidewalk for many, many years. And it was terrifying. Every time I saw them walking on the road, I would think, oh my goodness, please be okay. Please be safe. Everybody, please see them there and don't hit them. And they lobbied the town for many years to put in a sidewalk in our neighborhood. And finally, the town came and showed up one day and started tearing up the ground and putting in a sidewalk. And it was amazing to see. By the way, I went to the dedication ceremony, and I was like one of the only people that walked there on the sidewalk. It took us a little while to get used to having it there. But anyway, we did over time. And people started running into each other on the sidewalk because we were pushing baby strollers and we were walking dogs and we were walking down to the lake and doing things. And people would run into each other and say hello. And after a while, after 5 or 6 times of that, they'd exchange names and ask a little bit about each. Oh, you live over there, and good. And I felt like every single one of those conversations was like a little strand of spiderweb of weaving community, just a little bit of connection. And that little bit of connection matters a lot when something hard happens in the neighborhood. And if you know each other just a little bit, especially if it's between you, right? If you're less them and more us, that matters a lot to how we handle our conversations. So I was really happy to see over those next few years, my neighborhood became a neighborhood. Because back when we just all pulled into our driveways and couldn't walk very far, we didn't know anybody other than the immediate neighbors. And then, I don't know if y'all remember this, but in 2016 there was an election. And people got pretty upset about it, and with good reason. Like, I'm not minimizing the importance of things like that, right? People live and die by those decisions. They really, really matter. But what I saw happening in my neighborhood was that people were afraid to talk to each other because they weren't sure which side of this divide they were on. And they became terrified because if you were on one side of it and you talked to somebody and you found out that they were really excited and happy about this and you were heartbroken and terrified, it was hard to feel safe, right? And then same in the other direction, right? If you were really happy about this and somebody else was heartbroken and terrified, that feels like an accusation. And what do you do with that? And so what I saw was people stopped talking to each other. It felt like the town came in and tore the sidewalk out. And that broke my heart because I believe deeply that transformation happens in the context of relationship. We have to know each other first, and after we know each other, we can start to work on the hard stuff, right? But we can't demand that people be transformed in order to have a relationship, right? All of us are transformed, and by transformed, I don't mean that they change their minds politically. I just mean that we remember each other's humanity. That's the transformation I'm looking for, right? First. I also have opinions politically, right? But it's the dehumanization that breaks my heart. And I feel like it's got to be step one. I said this morning, and I'll say again, people are very seldom rejected into making more compassionate decisions. It's love that changes us. As Pollyanna as that sounds, it's the most pragmatic approach we have, is love. And I got so frustrated, I was talking to my family one night, and I said, I just want to hang a big sign on the house that says, no matter who you voted for, if your car battery's dead, I will happily jump your battery. Right? And then it occurred to me that I know how to have signs made. I thought, you know what? It's my house. I can hang a sign on the front of the house if I want to. And if I did want to, what would it say? And so I started talking to my wife and my son. My son was 7 at the time. And we started talking about that. If we were going to hang a sign on the house for our neighbors, what would we put on the sign? And we had some conversation. And we thought about it. And we decided that actually it would say this. It would say what this sign right here says. It'd say, you are our neighbors. No matter who you vote for, your skin color, where you're from, your faith, or who you love, we will try to be here for you. That's what community means. Let's be neighbors. It doesn't say, no matter all these things, everything's cool. Let's just pretend everything's fine. That's not what it says. It says, no matter all these things, we will try to be here for you. We will try to be generous in our relationship and show up, that we may all be transformed. And this lines up with my faith. So on Christmas Eve of 2016, my son and I got a ladder and some nails and a hammer, and we put a 3-foot by 8-foot banner on the front of my house. It's just a one-story house. It took up the whole thing. And we nailed it to the front of the house. And a lot of people started stopping in to talk to me about that sign. They would knock on the door. One person told me she moved to the neighborhood because she had seen that sign. And that made me happy. And then people started to ask where they could get one. So I made a website that had the art on it, and it said, you can download the art for free and make your own. Feel free to do that. But then people started saying, I don't know how to have that. I don't know, do you just sell them? And so I said, okay, so I'll make some to sell. So we did that too, and it's all on the website, but the free ones are still there. If people want to download the art and print their own, they can. Because what I really want is to get that message out. And you know what? They're hanging all over the country now on houses and businesses and churches. There's like a 20-foot tall one on Abraham Lincoln's church in Springfield, Illinois. It's pretty cool. So I wanted to tell y'all why those are up there. I already have one, so I have some extras. And if you want to talk about that later, we can. Let's see. I want to make sure I've got this. That's the string. Here we go. So I'm going to sing you a song. This song quotes my friend Gareth Higgins, who dropped some pretty powerful wisdom on me right at the beginning of the pandemic. Actually, the month before the pandemic started, he said this at a conference. Oh yeah, I was going to do that thing, right? Okay, so right after this song, Don't Let Me Forget, we're going to pass those little plates, and you can put your mailing list cards in there, or you can put some cash in there for this local good folks doing good work for folks in crisis. Or, I don't know, you can put some candy in there, whatever, it's fine. So my friend Gareth, he said this. He said there are 2 rules for community. One is bring what you have. The other one is ask for what you need. I want to give credit for that line because it showed up in the song. It's the first song I wrote in the pandemic. Looking out my Monday window with so few cars driving by it, the main street of this river town is strangely still and quiet. The days flow by so slowly with no rhythm to the song. Trying to dodge the boulders as the water rolls along. Back in March there was a meeting at the VFW. They said we're all in the same boat, but it really isn't true. 'Cause some boats have big motors, some have wooden oars. Some folks are in the water, just trying to swim back to the shore. Our lives hang by a thread, but you weave those threads together, they will make a rope that's strong enough to hold on to each other. If we all pull a little, then just maybe we'll pull through. As long as I am here, we'll be here for you. There are many who need comfort, there are many mouths to feed. So bring what you can offer and ask for what you need. Let's be gentle with each other, we won't always get it right. You don't have to be a hero, just lean a little toward the light. You don't have to say you're okay, let's just stick to what is true. You don't have to smile and fake it, God knows I'm struggling too. Our lives hang by a thread, but you weave those threads together, they will make a rope that's strong enough to hold on to each other. If we all pull a little, then just maybe we'll pull through. as I am here. I said, as long as I am here, I will be here. All right, I brought this drum. Before we wrap up, I got to play a drum song here. I'm planning to play y'all like 3 more songs. This one and a couple more. I hope that's all right with you. Does that feel okay? All right, that's where we are. I like this drum. And we can go ahead, y'all can pass those buckets if you care to. That's great. This one is another audience participation song here. One of the great privileges of my music career has been that just a few years ago, this month, I got to stand beside Pete Seeger in New York City and sing a song with him. We sang This Little Light of Mine. That was kind of fun. He asked me to take a verse. I'm no Pete Seeger. But tonight, I'm going to do this one song where I call the line out and you call it back to me, okay? Which is a very Pete Seeger thing to do. We only have to do that on the choruses. We won't do the whole song, just the chorus. So here's how it goes. And if this were a choir rehearsal, I would say it works better if you drop the first syllable. So I'm going to say, drink deeply when the wine is poured, and you can just say deeply when the wine is poured, okay? On that first line. It'll make sense to you. Here it comes. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. All right, we'll try again. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Pass around the drinking gourd, yeah. May your spirit be restored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. All right, so the line is that we might have life and have it abundantly, right? It should just be rolling down your chin when that wine comes to us, right? It's metaphorical wine. If you're not into literal wine, that's cool. But I'm not the first guy to use wine as a metaphor, right? I don't know about y'all, but one of the great dangers to my joy is that I can get all tangled up in my head and miss the moment. And this is really a song about remembering not to miss the moment. Thank you, brother. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. And pass around the drinking gourd, yeah. May your spirit be restored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Right on. Okay, I'll take a couple verses and come back to you. Now rest a while and be renewed. My friends, we have much work to do. With love our cause and our reward. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Here we come. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Pass around the drinking gourd, yeah. May your spirit be restored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Now take your glass and lift it up. Or grape juice in a plastic cup. No matter where the love is stored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Here we go. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Pass around the drinking gourd, yeah. May your spirit be restored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Now join with all who drink this wine in many lands and many times. Precious children of the Lord, drink deeply when the wine is poured. And though we may not all agree, let us sing in harmony, 'cause different notes make up a chord. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Pass around the drinking gourd. May your spirit be restored. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Drink deeply when the wine is poured. Oh, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just go ahead and do this part. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna need some help. So I've asked y'all to listen closely to a lot of words to songs you've never heard before tonight, and that's a little bit of work. Thank you for doing that with me. Hey, buddy. So I'm going to play an instrumental song, and the beauty of an instrumental song is that all night tonight I've been deciding what the songs are about, more or less, right? I give you a lot of cues in the lyrics, but in an instrumental song, it could be about anything. So I'll invite you to close your eyes or leave them open or whatever you do. And let this take you wherever it takes you. And at the end of it, maybe tell me, if you want to, at the end of the night, where it took you, because I'm always fascinated to hear where folks go. I get kind of lost in this one every time I play it. It's all right. It's okay, buddy. Thanks, y'all, so much for choosing to spend your time this way tonight. It's been a real privilege for me. I think the first time I wrote a song and played it for somebody, I was 15. And, well, I don't really have to explain it to you. You know. You know what it sounds like to be, what it feels like, rather, to be listened to, right? And you know what it feels like to not be listened to when you're talking about stuff that matters to you. So, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you so much. It's really been a privilege, and it still feels exactly the same way as it felt when I was 15. It's amazing. And buddy, I'm so glad you're here, and I mean it. I really do. I really do. We don't do nearly enough. We don't do, oh, it's okay. We don't do nearly enough hanging out together multi-generationally. And I think it's really important to make space for whatever's happening with people, you know. My friend Brian Ammons says this wonderful thing when he's welcoming groups. He always says, all of you are welcome here, and each of you is welcome here, but most importantly, all of each of you is welcome here, right? Whatever's going on with you, whatever's happening, bring it. That's what community is. So y'all be well. This is the last song for the night. And thank you again. The closest I've flown to the face of a war was into Sarajevo on a wing and a prayer. And the bombs didn't fly from the hills anymore, but the people were haunted. There was fear in the air, and the city was cratered from the shells and the rounds, like rain on a puddle, like the face of the moon. Hey buddy, you coming up with me? Awesome. Because I gotta say, this morning it was pretty awesome being a band. I like being in a band. If there's more band coming, that's cool. Closest I've flown to the face of a war was into Sarajevo on a wing and a prayer. And the bombs didn't fly from the hills anymore, but the people were haunted. There was fear in the air, and the city was cratered from the shells and the rounds, like rain on a puddle, like the face of the moon. And they buried the bodies till they filled up the ground. In the grass on the highway, they just ran out of room. But the people have gathered in the middle of town with the songs they hold sacred of a time coming soon. From their different traditions, they are singing the sound of their future together, and they're singing in tune. And all the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light of just one candle. All the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light of just one candle. I forgot to say at the beginning of this song that I co-wrote the song. It's important to give credit when you write half a song. Somebody else wrote the rest of it. So I wrote the verses and Francis of Assisi wrote the chorus. He did a great job and he was really wonderful to work with. I got word overseas that an old friend had died. She was bright-eyed and laughing, gone far too young. My spirit and body felt hollow inside, and I wanted to cry out, but no sound would the night in a dangerous town, where the gunfire can sound like the 4th of July. But by chance I looked up, and the stars shining down tore the wind from my lungs, the rain from my eyes. Because just like my friend, those stars are long gone, and that light has been shining for thousands of years. So the light that we shine seems to go on and on, like those rays across the cosmos, to refract through my tears. And all the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light of just one candle. You can say love is a powerless tool, that the world is heartless, and that hope is for fools. But I've watched for the sunrise, and the truth is I've found it's not light that is fragile, it's the other way round. And all the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light of just one candle. All the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light of just one candle. That all the darkness in the world can't extinguish the light, just one candle. God bless y'all. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.